Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakwadash. Double lines to the elders of GMS rule well. Peace, salutations to like Akim on the four corners, percent truth, sincerity. Peace be unto you, and Shalom.
Joining me now is the president of the National Right to Life Committee. It's Carol Tobias. Carol, I really appreciate you coming on. And let me just start with the 50-year campaign, if you will. Is this the end? Is this success, or is this the end of the beginning, as far as you're concerned?
Like Winston Churchill said, this is the end of the beginning. It's been a 50-year battle to protect unborn children. But we now have those battles in every state. So we are going to be doing what we can to affect those laws. But we know it's going to be a long, long battle to get where we really want to be, is to protect all unborn children.
And that's exactly what they are, unborn children. They want to give them that title of, a clump of cells to dehumanize the child. Technically, we're all a clump of cells then. What do you think our body is made out of? Legos? We're all clumps of cells, if that's the case. So they try to refer to the child as a clump of cells to try to justify killing it. How about you take your baby up and you do it? Why you gotta? That's a coward. You want somebody else to do the killing. You do it.
Do you want to see this continue to be a state issue, which was a rallying cry for years, or would you eventually like to see the federal, sort of a federal codification against abortion, a federal ban on abortion?
At this point, step by step, we're going to do what we can in the states. I think everybody is realistic enough to know that doing a federal law is going to be overwhelming. And at that point, it's not going to happen until we get large and general consensus among the population. And, that's obviously not going to happen anytime soon.
Does Natural Right to Life do you have what you believe should be, should women have access to an abortion at some point during their pregnancy, or are you advocating for a ban at conception?
What is missing from this entire debate and the guests that you had on before me is the fact that there is an unborn child whose life is hanging in the balance with every abortion that is performed, that life ends. So no, we believe that unborn child is a human being that should be protected. If the mother's life is in danger, obviously we are not going to ask her to sacrifice her own life for that of her child. And I know some women who really agonize as they go through that. But we see the unborn child as a human being that is deserving of protection.
So it sounds like, I guess it goes to when does the constitutional rights of the fetus trump the constitutional rights of the woman?
I don't think it has to be a competing right. There are pregnancy centers that are going to help a woman who is going through a difficult time. Many states have come forward with programs to encourage and promote childbirth to help a woman with various needs, whether it is housing or some kind of health checkup from a local nurse. I think the states are realizing that we are going to have to promote childbirth and support the women in a variety of ways. The pro-life movement has been doing that for 50 years, and that's not going to end. We're going to step up those activities because we realize there are more women who are going to be wanting and needing support and care. Is the next
step personhood, so-called personhood, which means, we've seen some of those. I think Mississippi was one where there was a high-profile constitutional amendment attempt. Is that something that you expect National Right to Life to be working on and places where you can make that a ballot initiative?
Well, National Right to Life actually issued what we would call model legislation last week. And that would be that abortion is not allowed unless the mother's life is in danger. But we do realize that in several states, that's not going to be practical at this time. So there are other exceptions like rape and incest that could be written into the bill. It's a model, and states could look at it and say, we like this part of it, we don't like this part. I really think we're going to see a lot of different bills coming up from the states with a lot of different interests and, I don't want to say exceptions, but some changes.
Do you expect this to be back in the Supreme Court? So, for instance, if a state does pass a law that grants rights to the unborn, that sounds like something that would go back to the Supreme Court. Is that something you expect to happen at some point?
Oh, I think there is going to be several court battles over the next few years. Some of the states that support abortion are going to try to push the Supreme Court to see if they're really going to stand with what they did today. Pro-life states will pass legislation, and I'm sure groups like Planned Parenthood will come in and try to challenge it. And then we'll just see where the federal courts go. I don't know how many of them will reach the Supreme Court, but I expect court battles for a few more years.
And let me ask you about contraception. And the thing is that there's some things are seen as contraception, and some people see, for instance, an IUD, view that as an abortion. Does National Right to Life have a position on contraception? Do they want to see more limitations on it, or are you an organization that doesn't want to see it touched?
We have no position on contraception, and I know I believe it's being brought up. That is a scare tactic. I do not know of any state that is going to or is even going to try to get rid of contraceptives. I mean, that's a red herring that's being pulled across.
I think Idaho, I do think there's a couple legislatures, some very conservative ones. I think there's already
they're not
a bill
going after contraceptives
in Idaho that was certainly I think in being voted on at least in one or two states. What you're saying is that is not something your organization is campaigning on.
Not at all.
Right.
The legislation that we promote specifically requires that the process start with a woman who is known to be pregnant, which pretty much rules out a lot of questions about contraception. But we have no interest in going after that.
Carol Tobias from the National Right to Life. I know this is a pretty big day in the pro-life movement. I appreciate you sharing a few minutes with me.
Sure. Thank you.
You got it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
So we're 3 days into summer, and now it is official. Hot Girl Summer 2022 is canceled. It's over. It's a wrap. It's over. No mas. Now it's no more of this my body, my choice. It was never your body, your choice. It was your choice to decide to spread your legs. But the thing is that with choices come responsibilities. If I sign up and choose to go to the military, I know what comes with it. If I decide to be a gangbanger and rob and steal, I know what comes with it. If I decide to, let me think of something else, become a police officer, I know what comes with it. Get shot. If a person decides to become a Marine, you know what comes with it. If a person decides to become a bounty hunter, you know what comes with those choices. All those are choices, and choices, there's things that come with those choices. So if you decide to spread your legs and have sex without a condom, that's a choice. Well, you need to know what comes along with it. And if you're not willing to deal with the consequences, then you shouldn't be making that choice. Don't they say, as far as criminals can't do the time, don't commit the crime? Well, if you can't raise a child, then you shouldn't be spreading your legs having unprotected sex. That's just what it is. You got birth control, you got all types of stuff which that is wicked, but that's an alternative. But these women more so are concerned about not wanting to do, they don't want to take responsibility of their own actions. They want other people to take responsibility for the actions that they've did. And that's not how life works. You know, we have laws. You know, do you really have to have a philosophical argument as to why you should not kill your baby? That's your child. You've killed your child more frequently than you kill somebody else's child. A child that's growing inside of you, inside your womb, that you're supposed to love and nurture. And you willing to pay somebody to just take his head off. This is Leviticus 18:21. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God, for I am Yahweh. And that deals with any type of sacrifice. If you kill your child or you do anything, you're not supposed to do that. You know, whether they're after they're born or while they're in pregnancy, you ain't supposed to be killing your child. That's something that you created. But there's so many women, and this is that Babylonian mindset. That's that wine, that strong drink. They told women that they could be sexually liberated. The being sexually liberated, going through your whole phase, having hot girl summer, that comes with responsibility. You can get pregnant. Oh, you ain't about that life? Well, you shouldn't do it. It's really that simple. But these women, they wanted to, be fuck nigga free, hot girl summer, twerk on the red light at the headlight, and all that shit. Well, well, guess what now? Now you can't have no abortion. And it's about to get real in Michigan. Michigan, one of those states where they have a law that if it goes into effect, which I forgot what they call it. It's called basically a temporary suspension because they're actually dealing with the legality of a landmark case that concerns abortion. So they like, all right, let's chill on this law. But there's a law in the books in Michigan. You can't have no abortion even if you were raped or incest. And let me say this about rape. Let's not pretend, because that's what these women do, is they pretend as if they're fighting so hard for victims of rape. These women are not, what they constitute as rape is they're having consensual sex with a man, and then he stealths, which means removes a condom, and all of a sudden they're a rape victim, and then they're pregnant, and they want to claim that they're raped. Well, then go get a damn rape kit. Go cry me a river somewhere. That is not rape. They don't want to distinguish between a woman who is having consensual sex with her husband, her boyfriend, which is the same thing, and a woman who is actually a violent, victim of a sexual assault by a perpetrator. They don't want to distinguish between that. So guess what? Now, you wanted your body, your choice. Well, guess what? The government decided, nah, scratch that. And it's just a matter of time before his contraceptives are going to be next. That's probably next on the agenda. This is Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 3. It says, even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. The sea monsters are better mothers than these black women. There was just a story just today about a black woman that put her child in the freezer. Like, how many black women in Detroit gonna stuff their kids in freezers? A lot of these women, they don't want to be mothers. They resent motherhood. They like the title of being a mother, then they realize what comes with it. Then they don't want to be it. You know, they want to do what they want. Girls want to have fun and all that other type of stuff. But you can't do what you want to do all the time. Because guess what? When you have a child, that child comes first. So you have a child, all of a sudden, well, also if you have if the child's father is still in his life, well, then you got another element to it, because not only that do you have a child, and you can't do what you want to do, but in your relationship, you have to compromise. You can't just do whatever you want to do. You got to compromise. They might be able to not be able to do this. You might not be able to do that. But there's a compromise that goes along to it. You know, and on that note, I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakah Kodash, double honors to the elders GMS rule well, peace, salutations, and shalom.